basketball game in an interesting diversion for him. We welcome Bill back to the broadcast once again this year. A big win tonight for Niagara, if they can pull it off, Bill, for the confidence level. The Niagara's coming off a tough game where they lost by 20 to a talented Long Island team. They feel they're better than UB, but as they've shown, they have to play well to beat this Bulls team.
Well, there's no doubt about it, Lou. This is for bragging rights in Western New York. UB went through, knocked off Niagara, knocked off St. Bonaventure, knocked off Canisius, and somebody's got to stop them.
Purple Eagles would like to end that run, and again, it was a tough loss for the Purple Eagles the first time around. And when you look for ways to turn that around this time, certainly UB had a big advantage that first game at the free throw line. 27 free throw attempts to just 11 for Niagara. Things will change here at the Gallagher Center, although UB has done a great job of drawing fouls from their opponents all year long.
Well, they have players like Rashawn Young and Mike Martino, and they do a great job of getting fouled and going to the foul line and cashing in, which is a big thing. But, you know, Niagara's got to keep them off the foul line. They can't let them stay close. That's the bottom line. If you let this team hang around and be close, they're going to beat you at the end.
UB averaging 20 made free throws a game so far this year. When you take a look at Niagara, one player who's looking to have a big game tonight who hasn't in the past against the University of Buffalo is Chris Watson. Why would Chris struggle against this type of team?
You never know. It's the way people play you. They may do something special to play him. You know, Chris is an outstanding player, and teams know that in order to beat Niagara, they got to step up and stop Chris Watson. So it's no secret, and I think that he's going to see that throughout the year, that more people are going to step up and try to stop him. So other people have got to step up, like Joberty and people like that have got to come along and do things so that Chris can get open. Because if you're a one-man team, it isn't going to work.
Chris Watson will be looking to break out tonight against UB. On the other side of the ball, one of the keys of the game for the Purple Eagles is to control one of those men that you mentioned. Rashawn Young had an outstanding performance, career high in points against Niagara the first meeting this year.
Well, Rashawn Young is a pure athlete. He didn't play last year due to injury, and he's a thoroughbred. He can play for just about anybody in the country. They have to control him. They can't let him get off. He's a great athlete, not a great outside shooter, but a great athlete, and he's their go-to guy.
Plays very big for his size as well, although he's not particularly tall, just 6'3" and 200 pounds. He does a lot of damage inside by getting good offensive position. Well, Jack Armstrong certainly remembers the overtime loss to the University of Buffalo, and he has some keys to this game to turn it around this time.
We didn't take care of the ball at crucial moments, and, you know, quite frankly, we didn't do a good enough job on Rashawn Young, but it still came down to one play. If we had defended that play a little bit better, you know, now Martino has a fully contested shot. If he makes that, God bless him. He had a semi-contested shot. It was a very tough shot he made. Nonetheless, they deserve to win that game. We're up against it. That's going to be a tough game coming off an LIU game that's going to be very challenging.
One of the nagging problems Niagara had in the UB game, and in a couple of the games, Bill, has been the inability to hold leads because they've had some offensive lapses, and that hurt them before. What do they do to overcome that tonight? Well,
that's the problem that Niagara's had at the beginning of this year, is they've gotten up at teams. Robert Morris is another example, and they just haven't been able to hold it. And one of the keys tonight is to play 40 minutes, not 37 or 38. Jack has stressed that with him. You've got to play 40 minutes of basketball. And that's what happened against UB. They had the leads, they just couldn't hold it, and then everybody saw what happened. But they're going to have to concentrate. It's really a concentration thing. With a young team like Jack's got, you really don't want it to get out to a real big lead, because then people let down. They start to think that they're good, they're going to beat teams. You've got to dig in and play for 40 minutes. And as Jack always says, this is a war. And in war, you've got to play every minute, because if you don't, somebody's going to shoot you.
We've certainly covered the team defense to stop Martino and Young, who lit up Niagara the first time around. Final thing is take control of take care of the basketball. Niagara's probably going to see a lot more pressure from teams after teams watch the film of the Long Island game.
Well, one thing you've got to do to win basketball games is you got to have less turnovers than your opponents. And sure, an athletic team like Long Island gave Niagara fits with their press. They can't let that happen. And Martino's just the kind of guy that can get under your skin. He's like a gnat. He just bothers you and bothers you and bothers you. Steals here. He'll do all the unconventional things, and you can't let that bother you. You've got to stay poised. Again, young team, turn the ball over, leads to disaster.
Well, the recipe for Niagara: get revenge against UB tonight. We'll be back with the starting lineups and more from the Taps Gallagher Center right after this.
Same as always. You watch my back while I run the wires.
They're making their move at the Grand Apartments. Close in.
We're back at the Taps Gallagher Center, and Bill, a lot less people squeeze themselves out of the stores than you would have expected to watch this basketball game tonight.
Well, I know this is the tough time of the year, but my gosh, this is a great game. I mean, the first game, it goes into overtime, 2 shots at the buzzer. I don't know why people don't come out to see this. It doesn't say much for Western New York and their basketball aficionados, but I think this is going to be a great game tonight.
There's the starting lineup for the University of Buffalo.
Tough starting lineup. You got Rashawn Young, who's just an excellent athlete. Mike Martino, he is just the kind of guy that kills you. You don't know what to do to stop him. He always seems to be able to get a shot off. He's tough. Bernard Wheeler, their point guard. Quick, very, very quick. Likes to create things for other players, but you got to watch him and you got to control him.
Leonard Tangashaka, not much of an offensive threat, but likes to try and block anything that comes down the lane. Here's the Purple Eagles starting lineup.
Well, you got Chris Watson, who's their go-to player. He's been off to a little bit of a slow start this year, but Chris is the player. I think the key to this whole game is Jeff O'Connor. Jeff has got to come out and got to hit some big shots to open the middle up for Chris Watson and Hassan Abdullah, and also for Kevin Joberty. If he doesn't hit them, then they're just going to pack it in and say, go ahead and beat us from the outside.
You know, in the open, we talked about Chris Watson struggling against UB. He did have 12 points and 10 rebounds against UB in the opener, but that's been the story. He really hasn't scored near his usual average against the University of Buffalo.
No, he hasn't, and teams are keen on him, and that's the problem. But he's going to have to come up big tonight. It's a big ball game. He's on his home floor, and this is where you show everybody how good you are.
Jeff O'Connor in the first meeting did have 15 points, so that was a season high for him. And Niagara leads this series 51-22, but that's a little bit of a misnomer as far as recent history goes.
Yeah, recent history has been tough. UB has played very, very well since they came back into the Division I level. Tim Cohane has just done an excellent job with that program, and it's a growing power in Western New York, and it's one that Niagara and Canisius and St. Bonaventure had better well be aware of.
Yeah, to put a number to that, Tim Cohane is 5-1 versus Niagara since taking over the coach at the University of Buffalo. There's Jack Armstrong in his 8th season at the helm of the Niagara Purple Eagles.
New father, Jack Armstrong.
That's right. Kevin, the young adopted son, was here the other night. Don't know if he's here tonight.
He's getting ready for Christmas.
Making out that list for Santa Claus. Game officials tonight include familiar faces. Mike Lonsky, Ron Foxcroft, and George Harry. 2 out of the 3 make regular appearances here to the Taps Gallagher Center.
Good officials. They've got some very good officials on this game. People that know both of these teams very well, so it should be a well-officiated ball game.
Getting ready to tip it off, UB in the blue. Niagara in the home white and purple. Tim Cohane, his 4th season at the University of Buffalo. And you take a look at the way he has developed that program in a hurry. It wasn't too long ago they were struggling to get wins below the Division I level, and all of a sudden last year they're 17-win season at Division I.
Well, he's in a conference that he can be very competitive in, and he's just done an excellent job of bringing people that were not highly touted athletes, but bringing them to UB and making them good players.
And they're going to be stepping up in conference in the not-too-distant future.
No, they're moving into the MAC, and that's a very, very tough conference, the Mid-American.
Mid-American, right. UB will get the ball to start as the ball is tipped out of bounds on the opening. And they're going to adjust the possession arrow, make sure that's all set up.
Also, the shot clock is down 2 seconds.
got to thank Tom Parada, NU assistant basketball coach, asking me if I could see this week. Well, I moved down to see.
That's awful nice.
Couldn't see around in the first game, that's for sure. Niagara comes out and shows some zone defense on the first possession. Tangashaka trying to back in on Jobert and turns it over.
Tangashaka's not a real scoring threat for UB, although they're going to try to exploit it and get him inside and get Jobert in foul trouble. If they're weak inside.
Jeremiah Johnson brings it up against the man-to-man defense for the University of Buffalo.
Well, Johnson's going to have a tough time tonight because Wheeler is extremely quick and he's strong.
He gave Niagara fits in the games that I remember against UB last year, seeing him in person because of his strength and physical play. Niagara not very big in the backcourt, especially when they go with Johnson and Murphy back there. That'll be a physical mismatch. 5 on the shot clock. Johnson turns it over. Ball stolen by Rasan Young. And Rashawn goes in and lays it, an air ball.
He was looking around to see where Johnson was, and he just laid it off the back of the glass, never hit the rim.
Both teams struggling here in the offense. Niagara didn't get a shot off its first possession. O'Connor hits it too.
And that's a big basket for Niagara. You gotta get Jeff O'Connor off quick.
UB moves it up quickly. Bernard Wheeler will pull it back out.
Wheeler's their spark plug player. He creates things for other people, tries to get the ball to Young, which he did right there.
Three-point attempt missed, but a second chance opportunity for the Bulls. A whistle and a foul. We'll go against the Purple Eagles.
I don't think he called the foul.
I thought he did. Okay, just knocked out of bounds.
Right.
I still can't see. I guess we're watching this end out of the monitor again.
He's just a big Tom Parada is just too big.
Used to be Jack would sit there and he never sat down, so it was never a problem.
Right.
Penetration, a wild shot put up by Young, missed, and rebounded by Watson. And Niagara trying to spread the floor and create some room inside for Jobert and Watson. Keeping the guards out well high.
Well, they're running what they call their triangle offense, which will have Jobert, Hassan Abdullah, and Watson inside, and the 2 guards on the outside.
Abdullah gathers in a 3-point miss from O'Connor. Niagara gets a fresh shot clock and another opportunity, leading 2-0. 2.5 minutes into the ball game. Jeremiah Johnson penetrates, and we're going to get no basket, offensive foul.
Not a good decision by Jeremiah Johnson. Mike Martino was just standing straight there, and Jeremiah tried to go up and over him, but Martino drew the charge.
First personal and team foul against the Purple Eagles. Niagara staying in zone defense here. Martino gets a stepper on O'Connor. Gets help defense down low. Nice cut from Wheeler. Passed it to Tangashaka. Wasn't expecting it. He misses. Followed up. No good. And Jobert had it yanked out of his hands from behind by Robert Harris.
Harris
stepped out of the baseline.
UB looks a little confused against this zone defense. They're not sure where to go with the ball.
Zaid Alcott checks into the ball game for UB, replacing Tangashaka. He had a career-high 14 points in the last game against Morgan State. As you look at the series, and just as we cut away, that's when Harris stepped out of bounds. Teams are going to come out on Hassan Abdullah. He's been very hot from outside the three-point line so far this year. 8 of 14, 57%.
Hassan's a very, very good shooter from the three-point line, and you've got to respect that. You've got to come out and play him.
Now they try to post him up inside and stepping around for the steal. Young leads UB on a break. Ahead to Martino. Martino covered well by O'Connor and Johnson, and they have to slow things down. Martino goes inside to Alcott, and he gets 2. UB on the board with 16:37 left in the first half. A bucket aside. Pass off of Rasan Young's hands and out of bounds. Niagara will inbound.
Both teams are struggling a little offensively. They can't get in the rhythm of the game yet.
Niagara's not been able to get Jobert free, and there they double down on him, almost turn it over. Now Watson on the blocks. No double team yet. That means he's going to go up. No, dishes off to Johnson. A three-point attempt is string user.
And that's what you got to do if you're going to get Chris Watson open. You got to hit from the outside. That was an excellent shot by Jeremiah Johnson. A good read by Chris Watson to get him the ball.
Well, he surprised me. Usually if nobody doubles down, he's going up looking for the shot.
Well, they started to double, and that's why Jeremiah Johnson was so wide open.
Young, again, another wild shot. Watson rebounds. He is trying to force the action a little too much here in the early going.
Yeah, he is, and Chris was right there for the rebound.
Johnson to Abdullah. His three-point attempt is too long. Rebounded by Martino. Martino brings UB up court, takes it all the way himself.
That's when he's very, very tough.
Nobody rebounds. Outlets to Johnson. Niagara has a 4-on-1. Jeremiah Johnson to Abdullah, who gets two. 7-2 Niagara, 15-20 left in the first half.
That was a textbook fast break. Jeremiah Johnson did a very good job of drawing the defense to him, and then dished the ball off to Hassan Abdullah, who put it in.
Three-pointer, no good. Long rebound. Jeremiah Johnson sends away Niagara, 3-on-3. O'Connor very closely guarded by Martino. They swing it around. Watson on the far side to Abdullah. Now down low to Jobity on the baseline, too. (9-2) Niagara. And UB has not solved the Purple Eagle zone.
No, they haven't. And Niagara's switching up their zone just a little bit. They're in a 1-3-1 right now. They're going from a 2-3 to a 1-3-1, and it's causing UB all kinds of problems.
O'Connor, an open look at three.
That's it. Timeout time for UB.
And we'll take a timeout as well. Niagara leads by 12. 14:22 left to go in the first half. This is Purple Eagles basketball on Adelphia Cable.
Holiday season is traditionally a time for families. Hi, I'm Joe Pelletier, asking you to join me in watching the special family message from a young serviceman away from home.
Hi, my name is Jerry Piper, and I'm aboard the USS Enterprise in the Arabian Gulf. I just want to say happy holidays to my mom and my dad, my grandparents, my whole family, and Danielle. They're from Niagara Falls.
Well, that'll certainly get the crowd fired up. Well, a couple of three-pointers for Niagara, keying a 10-0 run.
I've been waiting for a long time to see Jeff O'Connor get off and shoot those threes. So if you can do that, you can just hit those shots. And Jeff just banged one down as we just saw.
There's some keys for Niagara we talked about in the opening was certainly to get out there on Young and Martino on the three-point shot. UB forgot a key there. They didn't find Jeff O'Connor in transition. He had a wide-open look at that three.
Well, when you're wide open, and you know you're a player of Jeff O'Connor's stature, you got to be able to hit the open three. And tonight, so far, both he and Jeremiah Johnson can 2 threes. So Niagara's out to a 10-point lead, 12-2. And you know this is good and this is bad. You want to get a lead, but you get a lead too quick, then people start to relax. Kelvin Murphy just enters the game for Jeremiah Johnson.
O'Connor, by the way, second in the MAC in field goal percentage from the three-point line and out. This is 12th three-pointer of the game, and another good defensive stand for Niagara.
This is a great matchup, Murphy against Wheeler, because they are two of the quickest people I've ever seen.
Abdullah has it stripped by Young, his second steal. And into the ball game for UB, Nathan Johnson, a 6'9", 220-pound junior, trying to get some better inside play. Niagara going to man-to-man now. Switching up the defense, and we're going to get a foul on Calvin Murphy as Wheeler took him to the hole.
Now, Murph made a bad mistake there. He let him get around him on the right side. Instead of forcing him left, he let him go right. And Wheeler's just too quick and too strong to let him do that.
That's what Wheeler wants to do. If Niagara can get Wheeler shooting from the outside, that's what they prefer. He is best when driving and creating for himself and others. Completes a three-point play.
That's his game. He likes to penetrate and likes to dish it off.
Jobity comes out high, UB in man-to-man defense. Watson down inside. Takes his time, now gives out. Almost had lost it, actually. Abdullah, a three. Got a break there.
He sure did. That was a weak outlet by Watson, but he was right there to pick it up. Hassan just banged it home.
We talked about two people in the open, and Watson and Rasan Young. Young with the ball now has been really trying to force things. That's his first bucket. But Watson has been a lot more patient.
Chris has developed into a lot of patience the last couple years.
Nice move by O'Connor. Can't finish the play, though. A whistle, the ball out of bounds. Niagara will have it.
It was good hustle on Niagara's part, especially Chris Watson, to keep that ball alive.
Murph almost had it swatted away from Wheeler. UB comes out and defends, boy, right beyond that three-point line. They're still out in your face. Watson lost the handle. Wheeler collides with the Purple Eagle player who draws the foul. Let's make sure that...
That's Murphy. It's the second foul. We're going to have to get Jeremiah Johnson back in the game. 2 quick fouls for Calvin Murphy.
Yeah, they want to get back, though. UB, they get right in your face.
They play tough. They're strong, and they're quick, and they like to get in your face. They're not real big. You know, I mean, they're a pretty small team by Division I standards, but they just make your life miserable.
15-7 in favor of Niagara. 12:22 left to go in the first half. UB with the ball, working against another zone defense. Niagara back in the 1-3-1 here. Johnson almost takes it away from Martino. Martino gives off now to Wheeler. Nothing going. 8 on the shot clock. Martino a deep three. And a whistle on a push off underneath.
They caught Chris Watson on a push, and it was not a smart foul. Not a smart foul at all. Not with 4 seconds left on the shot clock. You don't want to create a foul.
Matt Clemens comes in for UB. He takes out Bernard Wheeler. Time for another television timeout. 11:56 to go in the first half. Niagara leading UB 15-7. Back with more Purple Eagles basketball in a moment.
For Bob, when I need to touch base for dinner. For the kids, when they forget it's time to come home. For us, when the babysitter needs to get in touch.
This year, give them something they'll really use. Pagers from PageTime are reliable, inexpensive, and a gift they'll use over and over again. Call now to order a brand new Motorola Renegade pager for only $29.95. Local paging is less than $9 a month. Call PageTime today at 1-800-870-2220. Happy holidays from PageTime.
Back at the Taps Gallagher Center, Lou Panesso along with Bill Agrone, and Niagara leading by 8. But Bill, Niagara, which averages 77 points a game, is really playing this game at the pace UB wants it played at, even though they lead by 8.
Yeah, they are. They're not pushing the ball up the court. That's one of the reasons why Jack took out Jeremiah Johnson in the first half early in the game, because he wasn't pushing the ball up to where he wanted them to. But they'll get in here. They still got an 8-point lead. They just got to be careful now. They're getting themselves in foul trouble. Calvin Murphy has 2. Chris Watson just picked up what we consider not a good foul, a pretty poor foul. You know, you don't want to get your star players. You want to get you don't want to go into your bench real deep.
And UB, despite aggressive defense, has not committed a foul in this ball game. Nate Bernowski checks in. First action for him and the Purple Eagles tonight. UB inbounds to Clemens. There's a little size mismatch with Jeremiah Johnson as Niagara's in zone. Clemens at 6'4", Jeremiah at 6'1", but looks smaller.
Yeah, Clemens is your shooter. Clemens comes in the game, and what he wants to do is put the ball up right away.
Looking for a shot. Has not shot well yet this year. Really struggling. And there's a forced turnover. Alcott made a freshman mistake there.
Well, that's been the story of the game for UB. Too many turnovers early in the game has led Niagara get out to an 8-point lead. At this level, you just can't turn the ball over like that.
Watson comes out to the three-point line to get the ball. Three-pointer partially blocked, and UB comes away with it. Jermaine Young also into the ball game now for Niagara. His first action. Wide open. Offensive foul. Elkoff was wide open on the wing, got Watson to commit, drove by him, and then committed the offensive foul.
Well, Jermaine Young played good help side defense. He came over and just stood his ground and had him drive right into him. And it was just a nice play on Jermaine Young's part.
That gets Leonard Tangashaka. Here it is, a good defense that Bill talked about from Jermaine Young, and Tangashaka comes in for Elkoff. Jermaine Young and Kevin Jobody, by the way, outstanding shooters for Niagara in the center spot. They're 1-2, actually tied for number 1 in the MAC in shooting.
Well, they take good percentage shots, and that's an important key to their game.
Oh, good screen, sets up a shot for Clemens. Can't knock it down, though. O'Connor rebounds. Outlets to Jeremiah Johnson. UB gets the defense back in a hurry. And good anticipation that time by Martino, intercepting a pass intended for O'Connor. Couldn't keep his feet, fell out of bounds with the ball. Tim Cohane wants to see a foul.
He's been yelling the entire game. Since the game started, he's been up yelling at the officials.
Niagara's going to go with a bigger lineup here. Jobody and Young in the game, taking out Chris Watson. So Jermaine Young will play the power forward spot. Bernowski will be in the 3 spot with Jobady at center. Bernowski, a 3 off the screen, won't go. Rebound UB. Nathan Johnson pulled it down, and Martino controls against man-to-man for Niagara. Young gets a step, pops, no good. Rebound controlled by Young. Try to save it to O'Connor and threw it away, threw it at his feet.
Yeah, he was, Jermaine Young was falling out of bounds, and the only thing he could do was throw it into the first white jersey he saw. Jeff O'Connor really didn't have eye contact with him, and he turned his back, and the ball just went out of bounds.
Tim Cohane going into the bench quite a bit, using a big rotation here. Gets Robert Harris back into the ball game, and in a moment we'll see Bernard Wheeler at the next stoppage. Get it inside to Young, off the glass, no good. Ball's on the floor. Jermaine Young is tied up by Rasan Young, and it'll be Niagara ball in the possession.
I'll tell you something, you got to be impressed with Jermaine Young, as big a body as he is, to go on the floor for the ball and work as hard as he does. He's been a very pleasant surprise this year for Jack and his coaching staff.
Rasan Young is coming up upon the 100th shot mark of the season already. You can see why he's not shy about putting it up. But you can also see why he's shooting around 40%. Not always a good shot. Away from the ball, we've got a whistle and a foul. Robert Harris picked up the foul.
Yeah, they got Robert Harris pushing in the back.
Hassan Abdullah comes in, and he goes in for O'Connor, so that's going to take Bernowski. Oh, a great play there by Matt Clemens to save that ball off of Abdullah.
Just bounced it right off his head.
Brent Beamer will come in. Now Niagara will have Bernowski at the 2-guard spot, Beamer at the 3 spot. And people say, how did he make that transition? That's why.
Ah, you could do that.
Actually, he could actually put Beamer at 2 and leave Bernowski at small forward. Got some interchangeable parts.
Well, I'll tell you what, the officials are whistle happy today. There's no flow to this game because of all the whistles. 15-7 with, you know, played a little over 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 52 seconds.
That's the first foul on Young. Wheeler and Clemens play catch. Martino hasn't gotten many shots off and misses that one. Jobody rebounds.
They've done a good job to cover Martino, and he's had to force a couple of threes.
Beamer looking for a 3 in transition, can't get it, goes down the blocks to Young. Young falls to his backside, no call there. In transition, UB, can't get it. Ball controlled by Wheeler. Wheeler the drive, Jobady altered that shot. Wheeler gets it back. Tangashaka gives off to Harris, and now we got a technical foul on the Niagara bench.
Not a good call.
It wasn't against Jack either.
No, it wasn't. Unfortunately, it was against one of his assistant coaches, and that's not going to make Jack very happy because you don't want your assistants picking up fouls. That's awfully early in the game to call a technical foul, too, because I didn't see a whole lot of things that were going on. They're just talking about all the push and shove. It's a very physical ball game.
You know, there's been 4 minutes and 36 seconds played in this game without a point.
Well, it's an emotional ball game. Both teams are keyed up because it's such a big ball game. It's a hometown rivalry. And it's become a physical game, too. A lot of pushing.
Niagara hasn't scored in more than 5 minutes, and this is what's been their Achilles heel all year. They had a 15-5 lead, haven't scored since. It's now 15-9. Niagara and UB has the ball.
Well, as these things usually go, Niagara's going to get the next call. You wait and see.
You see quite plainly, Niagara back in the 2-3 zone again.
Well, UB hasn't shown them they can beat them from the outside yet, so they may as well stay in the zone.
Cross court, Clemens trying to drive around Beamer, stops and pops, no good. Traveling call against Harris.
Yeah, he got the ball. He got a little shove by Young. Just gave him just a little bit of a shove to get him out of bounds. But I told you the next call will go to Niagara's way anyway.
Yeah, I think that was the one you spoke of. Came pretty quick. Johnson hounded over there by Wheeler. Nobody coming to the ball for Niagara, and we got a 3-second violation.
Brent Beamer standing in the lane, didn't move, and they just stood there mesmerized watching Jeremiah Johnson dribble the ball. That was just great defense on the part of Wheeler.
Eklos and Johnson in for UB, replacing Tangashaka and Harris.
Culhane's not shy about making substitutions. He brings them in and takes them out, brings them back in.
Well, he's going to keep shuffling players out till he finds a combination that works. Clemens, bounce pass inside. Eklos, nice strip from Jeremiah Johnson there since Niagara in transition. The UB gets 3 guys back in a hurry. Beamer, a 3-point attempt. Off the mark, nobody there but Wheeler for a rebound. Wheeler carried that one.
Yeah,
got away with it.
Right in front of Ron Croxcroft, and he didn't call it. They just can't score, UB. They just don't have anything going for them.
Young rebounds, outlets to Johnson. Beamer can't get to the hole, pulls it back out. Niagara's drought is hit just about 7 minutes right now. Johnson blocking foul, basket and a foul.
Well, that was a good call by the official because he definitely stepped in when Jeremiah Johnson went up in the air. That was nowhere near a charge, so that was a nice call, a nice move by Jeremiah Johnson.
Watson in the ball game, replacing Jermaine Young. Here's a replay.
Yeah, he stepped right in and undercut him, and Jeremiah Johnson went up strong, put the ball off the glass.
Second foul for Zayed Alclass, the freshman, and he goes to the bench with the 2. And 6:41 remaining in the half. Niagara looking to stretch the lead back up to 9 with the free throw. Won't go. That was the first free throw attempt of the game for Niagara. UB has 4 in case you're counting.
Another nice play by Jeremiah Johnson. He got into Wheeler and made him dribble that ball right off his leg.
Well, Jack lost the jacket during the technical. The tie got loosened up and the collar's open too. Oh, there's a cheap offensive foul against Jeremiah Johnson. Wow.
Yeah, it was. It's a great acting job by Wheeler, but Jeremiah did put his arm out. He did push off, so, you know, it was right in front of Foxcroft. There isn't a whole lot he could do. There wasn't any cover there. Couldn't say he didn't see it.
You're right. He did stick his arm out, and the UB player did a great acting job, and it worked. Anyway, you look at it from a Niagara or an official's perspective, it's a cheap foul. It was called. Now we got another whistle underneath. Now Beamer is going to get called for his box out.
Sometimes Brent gets carried away, and he does things that aren't real smart. Now, he pushed on that one. There was no reason to do it. It was a long rebound, and it was away from him. That's a 1-and-1 for UB. You don't want to put UB at the line. They're good foul shooters. You want to give them opportunities to score when the clock's off.
I was mistaken. Alcott did not go to the bench. Obviously, because he's at the free throw line hitting the front end of a 1-and-1. A 73% shooter on the line this year. 17-11 your score with 6:13 remaining in the first half. Not exactly a scorer's paradise here at the Gallagher Center tonight. And it really comes from a lack of shots, not poor shooting, a lack of shots. Neither team.
Well, both teams are doing a good job in the perimeter defense. They're getting out on people, and they're forcing them not to be able to make the passes that they want to make.
That's the 4th team foul against UB. Beamer is holding after he has the ball knocked away by Young. Whoa!
That wasn't a bad call. I thought Young pushed Beamer out of the way. Even though Beamer was reaching down and looked like he was holding, I think Young just pushed him right out of the way and right in front of Foxcroft.
Well,
you saw it differently.
I'm confused. I saw Brent definitely reaching out and holding back Rasan Young after the ball was knocked loose.
Going for the ball, Lou.
I have a tendency, it's Rashawn Young, even though I have a tendency to call him Rasan, unfortunately. 5:37 left in the half. And Niagara by 6. And another steal on the perimeter by Young from Beamer. And O'Connor comes with the hard foul. Good foul, not intentional. He got a lot of ball first.
Yeah, he did. He got a lot of ball on it and didn't let him score. So I guess you got to call that a good foul.
UB taking a little exception to that. Jeremiah Johnson, a little player on the floor at 150 pounds, got a little mixed up and we saw the end of it.
Yeah, I wouldn't get in front of Rashawn Young. Rashawn Young, he's a big boy.
Calvin Murphy will have to be careful as he checks in with 5:26 left and 2 fouls, and Jeremiah Johnson will come to the bench.
Jack's just taking him out to talk to him a little bit. He wants him to push the ball a little bit more. He also wants him not to be stupid and pick up a dumb foul right here. And a little retaliation.
Young, a good scorer for UB, not a particularly great free throw shooter. 68%, he makes the first of 2. Well, despite opening up a 10-point lead, Niagara leads by just 4 with 5:26 to play.
Well, that's what we talked about earlier. Sometimes you get the big leads early, they dissipate very quickly, and that's what's happened in Niagara.
Niagara just 2 baskets in the last 9 minutes. UB hasn't been that proficient either in that same span. They've only had a couple of field goals and a bunch of free throws. Watson rebounds the miss. O'Connor gives up a 3 cross-court to Beamer. Murphy a 3-point attempt. That's long. Long rebound gathered in by Wheeler.
UB's forcing Niagara to shoot from the outside, and if you don't hit those, it's going to be a long night.
Well, last touch by Niagara player, and UB will get it. Timeout, Purple Eagles with 4:44 to play in the first half. Niagara leading 17-13. This is amazing. You just look at the running score of this game. As best as I've kept track, UB has 3 field goals, 7 free throws.
Gotten to the line because they penetrated and caused Niagara to make some not really intelligent fouls.
That's more than 15 minutes of play, and they only have 3 field goals, yet they're not blown out of the game.
No, they're right in this game. Believe me, they're right in this game. It's a low-scoring game, and if you let UB hang around, that's when they hurt you at the end. You know, you can't let this team stay around because in the last 4 minutes of the game, they'll kill you.
On the other hand, you look to Niagara for scoring. Chris Watson leads the way with 16 points. He has been held scoreless.
They've done a very good job on the interior of Niagara's offense. They've really cut off the passing lanes. They can't get the ball inside. Anytime Watson has gotten the ball, he's been pushed out past where he'd like to be, and then they double down on him. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for him to get off. And without him, it hurts the team.
Let's take a look at MAC conference play, which will begin in earnest in just a couple of weeks. The only MAC game played was Niagara at Canisius, but you look at the overall records and you see, Bill, that been a pretty even year for most of the teams in the MAC. Iona off to the best start of the other clubs. Manhattan off to a good start at 3-1.
Manhattan is off to a good start, and that's a little surprising to me with the coaching change and some people that left the program. That's a nice record for them at this time of the year. Commissioner Rich Enser in appearance at the Gallagher Center tonight, making an announcement that Buffalo will be getting an NCAA. That's great news for Buffalo. They're going to get, in the year 2000, they're going to get the NCAA regionals there. Oh, they lob inside. Oh, won't fall. Watson knocks it out to Murphy. Cross court, Bernowski, a three-point attempt. Spotted up very, very well. Jeff O'Connor saw him, gave the skip pass across court. He just banged that one home. O'Connor averaging 3 assists a game, and now we got a double dribble against Wheeler, and they turn it back over to the Purple Eagles. Another unforced turnover for the UB Bulls. This is a big possession for Niagara. If they can score here, put it up to 9 or even 10 points, it'd be great. Murphy draws a foul, dipped his shoulder a little bit. Bernard Wheeler initiated contact. First on Wheeler and the 6th team foul against UB, so now Niagara will go to the line on the next whistle against the Bulls. Niagara again goes cross court over top to O'Connor in the corner, to Watson, out to Joe Bodine. That's a little far for him. Misses the shot. Rebounded by Johnson. Wheeler to Martino. Martino finally gets spotted up for an open look, and he hits a 3. And Martino had a few things to say to Jeff O'Connor as they're coming down the court, too. Murphy turned it over. And Martino draws a foul. Go to the line for 2. He's a crafty individual. He's a tough kid, and he can shoot the ball. He can drive to the basket. He just gets under your skin and causes a lot of problems. Watson commits his 2nd foul. So he'll go to the bench, as will Calvin Murphy. Well, he can cut this down to a 2-point lead for the Purple Eagles. He hits these foul shots. Jeremiah Johnson back in, and Jermaine Young back in for Niagara. You just cannot let UB hang around. Martino, one of the more solid free throw shooters for UB. Hands 2, and UB has done an excellent job at the line so far. 9 of 10 here in the first half, and that's why they're down by just 2. 20 to 18. 3:12 to play in the first half. Jobity will go to the line. Got a foul on Rashad Young. That'll be his 2nd. Oh, excuse me, his 3rd. So that's a big blow to Tim Cohane and UB. It sure is. He's going to have to replace him with Matt Clemens, who's not anywhere near the athlete, but he's a pretty good outside shooter when he's on, which he hasn't been much this year. You know, Matt Clemens 0 for 15 from three-point land this year. Two at the line. Niagara has a 3-point lead. 3 minutes to play in the half. Martino got O'Connor to leave his feet, but didn't get the ball down and traveled. No, it was a good call. He did shuffle his foot as he tried to go around Jeff O'Connor, although Jeff made a cardinal mistake of jumping up in the air. Wheeler picking up Johnson right at half court and going belly to belly with him. That's the type of defense UB has played all game long. It's been frustrating for Niagara. Look at that step around down low there. That's the jump ball. Possession arrow will favor UB. And nice move in the low post defense. UB plays very, very good interior defense, and they're always grabbing at the ball.
That was Robert Harris. Now he's 6'4", 225-pound sophomore. I mean, that's got to be, you think, a mismatch for Jermaine Young at 6'8". But watch the defense. Step around, get that steal.
Yep.
Wheeler to Tangashaka, looks for Martino. He pulls it back out. Tangashaka traveled again. He's done that more than once tonight.
Well, he's not going to get around Rashawn Young. He's just too big a body, and he had to shuffle his feet when he tried to go around him.
Tangashaka averaging just 2 points a game. Looks like he wants to do something with the ball down inside tonight.
They got Wheeler
a couple times. That time Wheeler, yeah, picked up.
Wheeler on a reach in, you know, a little bit of a hold. It's an area of emphasis this year for the officials, the hand checking, and that's definitely with the hand check.
That's going to send Wheeler to the bench and bring Scott McMillan to the ball game, a 6'4" junior, and we're going to see Alclas and Johnson check back in, and out goes Harris and Tangashaka. It's been kind of like dual substitution with those two.
Yeah, he's been moving people in and out the whole game.
One in bonus for Jeremiah Johnson. He misses.
Can't miss foul shots, and unfortunately that's been a bugaboo for Jack's teams the last couple years.
Lemons with two. Nice pass from Jeremiah Johnson to O'Connor, and he traveled.
I didn't see a travel. I thought there might have been a foul, but I really didn't see a travel on that one.
The University of Buffalo can take its first lead of the ball game right here. It's down by 1 with 1:50 to play in the half.
And that's what we talked about in our pregame show and what we talked about early on here. You can't let them hang around, because when you let them hang around, at the end of the game, they're ahead.
Sean Young on the bench with 3 fouls, and there's another travel. Nathan Johnson, the 6'9" junior. UB's big men just are not comfortable handling the ball.
Not at all. No, they're not, and they're not real fluid. They don't work hard enough to get open in the low post. And he had trouble there. That was the problem, is he just couldn't find anybody to pass to.
Luke Dobrich into the ball game for Niagara. He missed the first 5 games with a stomach problem. He had 2 abscesses drained from his stomach just prior to the start of the regular season. Went home for a while to recuperate. And Jack Armstrong has high hopes for the future of Luke Dobrich. And he's happy that he's been able to work him into the lineup here tonight.
Yeah, it's nice to see him back. He's a nice young man, and he had that physical setback early on in the preseason, and that's of a freshman year, and it's really difficult.
Jermaine Young, 5 of 8 on the line coming into this appearance at the charity stripe, where he makes 2.
Big baskets for Niagara, gives him a 3-point lead with just a little over a minute to go in the half.
Martino's going to look to try and take control of this game offensively for UB. Spotting up, McMillan off the mark. Rebound Bernowski, and he's fouled. Nathan Johnson came charging in there.
Jermaine Young just gave him a little bit of a chuck to tell him he did a good job. He almost knocked Nate right over.
Robert Harris back in. Out goes Johnson. .59 seconds left in the half, and Bernowski at the line for Niagara. Both teams at the 10 foul mark and above, so 2-shot fouls here. UB, we told you, 9 of 10 from the line. Niagara cannot boast of such statistics.
You got to hit the foul shots. They're free shots, and you got to be able to knock them down.
4 of 9 for Niagara. 24-20. Under a minute to play in the half. There's another turnover.
Another unforced turnover, and that's been a killer for UB. Without those turnovers, they'd be ahead in this game, but they just keep turning the ball over to Niagara.
And Leonard Tangashaka comes in. Out goes Alcott. This is a 13-second differential on the shot clock and game clock, so Niagara's not going to be able to run this out without giving UB a good amount of time for a possession. Still, they spread the floor and try and use some of that clock. Then on the shot clock, Bernowski goes to work now. Penetrates.
Nice move.
Oh, the pass to Joe, but he couldn't dig it out around his shin. Almost lost it out of bounds. It'll be Niagara ball inbounding with 3 seconds on the shot clock. And Niagara takes a 20-second timeout. Jack Armstrong wants to design a play.
That's a good call by Jack, because they were a little bit confused what they were going to run with only 3 seconds left. But what happened in that situation is Bernowski did exactly what Jack told him to do, penetrate and dish off. He did it, penetrated well, dished the ball, but Joby just wasn't ready to pick it up and put it home. He was open, too.
Been a tough half for both offenses. Some of it defense and some of it just poor execution.
It was. You know, this is a tough game because it's a crosstown rival and the emotions are very high, and many times in that case you have a rough game.
O'Connor, a fall-away three! Wow!
Reminiscent of the first game.
Martino will take the last shot. 4 seconds left. O'Connor knocks it away, dives to the floor, and the first half buzzer ends with Niagara on a big shot from Jeff O'Connor with momentum, going into the locker room leading 27-20. We'll be back with some halftime stats and more in just a moment. This is Purple Eagles basketball on Adelphia Cable.
Big.
Niagara leads by 7 as we get ready to start the second half. Lou Panessa along with Bill Gronin here at the Taft Gallagher Center. And Billy got to dig a little bit to find highlights in that first half. We'll give it a try, though.
Yeah, you do a little bit. It's tough. It's been kind of a sloppy game, but it's because it's two crosstown rivals.
There's Niagara set here, and it leads to a three-pointer by Hassan Abdullah. Now in transition.
Nice skip pass over to Bernowski by Jeff O'Connor. Bernowski just knocked it home.
Now at the end of the half, shot of the half.
There it was, falling out of bounds, Jeff O'Connor with 3 seconds on the clock. Out of bounds play, he hit that big one, and that's why we have a 7-point lead right now for the Niagara Purple Eagles.
Look at the ugly stats. The UB shooting 19%, but the turnovers, the real story.
Yeah, turnovers, 14 turnovers for UB. I'm surprised Niagara has that many. He has 13 turnovers. I didn't think they had that many. The only thing keeping UB in the game is their foul shots. They've hit 9 out of 9 foul shots.
Chris Watson held scoreless in the first half for Niagara. Mike Martino leading scorer in the game with 7 points. Jeff O'Connor with 8 for Niagara to lead both teams. Wheeler with 3 and Young with 4 for UB. Jeremiah Johnson and Abdullah each had 5 for Niagara in the first half. Jermaine Johnson on a penetration, misses the land. Rebounded by Robert Harris. Foul trouble, big story. Rashawn Young has 3 fouls for UB. Bernard Wheeler, Ed Klaas, and Nathan Johnson each have 2. For Niagara, Chris Watson has 2. And Calvin Murphy Jr. with 2. On the baseline, Kevin Jobody, we called for a blocking foul there. It looked like Kevin was moving his feet as Young drove, and that was a dangerous play. If Young would have picked up his 4th right there.
Well, you can't play tentative, and Rashawn Young has just got to try to play his game.
Niagara's played a lot of zone in this ball game, and UB has not been able to beat them from the outside. Traveling call again. How many times have we seen somebody inside for UB traveling?
At least the 4th traveling call in the UB Bulls tonight.
That one was on Robert Harris. Jeremiah Johnson has it stolen from him by Wheeler. Johnson was looking up court. Wheeler misses, rebounds, misses again.
Jeremiah Johnson did a great job. He didn't give up on defense, went up, got the rebound, and Wheeler came over the back. Not only didn't they score, they got a foul.
Unbelievable.
Great break for the Purple Eagles, but that was brought on by Jeremiah Johnson's hard work.
That's 3 fouls on Bernard Wheeler, who reaches around and commits 4.
Now that's a dumb foul. You just pick up your 3rd, and you don't want to go and try to strip the ball. That's just undisciplined play on Bernard Wheeler's part.
He's a sophomore. It's not like
no, he's played a lot. Now that's going to force Mike Martino to go to the point for UB, and that takes him away from scoring opportunities.
Matt Clemens into the ball game in the substitution. Jobody in the high post, throws it away.
Kevin, tallest guy in the court right now, he should be able to see where he's going to pass the ball. He just turned and threw that ball into the stands.
Jobody, another one who struggled in the first half. I couldn't get him involved offensively, just 3 points. Had 2 field goal attempts. Watson didn't even try a shot in the first half.
Tough call.
Going against O'Connor will be a 2nd.
That was a tough call. Jeff was trying to move, but it looked like Clemens moved into him.
Niagara again in zone. Young tries to penetrate against it. No, he got caught off his feet there, and Jobady picked up another foul. Well, Young was ready to turn that one over, but the foul call against Jobady
bailed him out.
Jobady's picked up 2 fouls here in the first 2 minutes of the second half. Nobody scored to this point in the half. Still 27-20. Long rebound, knocked to O'Connor. Niagara's had no semblance of a running game tonight. Now Watson with his first field goal attempt. Basket and a foul.
He's too good a player to keep off the scoreboard. He'll get his. He's just an excellent player. They've done a great job of doubling down on him, but if they can get him free, you know he's going to get to the basket.
Trademark Watson going along the baseline.
That's his patented move right there, to go to the baseline. He goes so hard. He's really developed into a fairly decent foul shooter after the terrible time he has as a freshman and sophomore.
Well, Niagara matches its biggest lead of the game. It's back up to 10. Young forced the shot and got it to fall over Jobady. And that was a prayer.
Yeah, it was. But Rashawn Young's a strong young man, and he just takes that ball in there, and luckily that time he got it to go.
Leonard Tangashaka commits his first foul, getting tied up with Jobady. 14 fouls already against UB. Niagara has 3. We've played 2.5 minutes in the second half.
Now this is the game of fouls.
You know, UB had 50 free throws in its last game against Oregon State. Not like this is unusual for them.
No, they force things because they go inside so much. They like to drive into the lane and then kick the ball out, so they force you to follow.
Speaking of kicks, that resets the shot clock. Jermaine Johnson got a step on his man and got 2.
Jeremiah Johnson made a very nice play, scooped that ball up left-handed, put it in.
Young, nice look that time, and a beautiful pass to Robert Harris. Looked like he was going up, but dished off. O'Connor. Old foul. Tangasciaka had it knocked away by Watson, but it was recovered by Martino. UB, 4-on-3. Martino, offensive foul. Take away that bucket.
Completely out of control. Mike Martino was completely out of control on that. He had a 4-on-3, and he just decided to take it to the basket. And Jeff O'Connor made a nice play, stood his ground, and got the charge.
Now they're just making sure at the scorer's table they got the correct number.
They're begging for plays there. They didn't want Martino to pick up a foul.
Well, they would have gave that to Wheeler, which they were saying 1-2. He'd have been out of the game. He's on the bench. How did he pick that up? Foul out of the game on the bench. How's that? Nice pass from O'Connor to Watson. They're getting Chris Watson involved.
Now they're starting to get a little motion to their offense.
Good work by O'Connor. Jeremiah Johnson diving to the floor. Martino recovers for UB. Young on the penetration. Basket. And a foul. We got one guy looking for a travel. They're going to count the bucket, and he's going to go to the line.
Sean Young is pumped up.
Who are they going to call that one on? Chris Watson? That would be 3 on Chris if they gave it to him. I don't know.
That was a tough play. It really did look like he walked, but they didn't call it.
(34-27) Niagara. 16-12 to play. Johnson into Watson. Watson goes baseline. Reverse layup. Won't go. Rebounded by UB. Johnson outlets. Now Young commits the offensive foul as O'Connor got position. That'll be 4 on Rashawn Young.
They picked up a technical foul, too.
Say goodbye.
Coach Cohane picked up a technical foul. Not a very good move at this point of the ballgame. Now the momentum shifts back to Niagara.
Niagara had a technical called on its bench in the first half.
That'll turn around to fair play, so.
That's the 7th team foul already on UB.
Well, Rashawn Young was just out of control in that play. He was so pumped up on the play earlier, the three-point play, that he tried to make something happen. That was a great look at it. It definitely was a charge.
Cohane just ripped his coat off and threw it into the bench. Got a charge out of the Niagara fans. And we're also cheering because Jeremiah Johnson's putting points at the board from the free throw line. One out of 2. 35-27 Niagara, 15:59 to go in the half. Niagara will have the ball after this timeout. We'll take a break. Be back with more Purple Eagles basketball in just a moment.
This year, give them something they'll really use. Pagers from PageTime are reliable, inexpensive, and a gift they'll use over and over again. Call now to order a brand new Motorola Renegade pager for only $29.95. Local paging is less than $9 a month. Call PageTime today at 1-800-870-2220. Happy holidays from PageTime.
We're back at the Taps Gallagher Center, and Bill, I guess you said it best in the timeout. It's an emotionally charged ball game.
UB is very, very emotionally charged, and they're yelling and screaming. It's got the fans into it. Now they're yelling and screaming, and you get some plays like this. Niagara just cashes in on a technical foul by Coach Tim Cohane, and they get the ball back. They hit a shot here. It's going to be big, big for them.
Instead, it's a turnover. O'Connor's pass intercepted by Nathan Johnson. Clemens brings it up the floor. Niagara goes man-to-man in this set. Tangashaka's traveled twice, almost did it a third time. They look inside, batted away. Tangashaka tries to go over Jobody. Jobady blocks it and commits a foul. 3 fouls in the half on Kevin Jobady.
That was a tough one, but I think he did get a piece of Tangashaka's wrist.
That'll get Jermaine Young into the ball game. Jermaine averages 21 minutes a game. Here's another look at it.
He goes up. Tangashaka goes up. Yeah, Kevin got his arm.
Well, UB is still perfect from the free throw line. And they're hanging in the game because of it. 35-29. Niagara by 6. UB 12 of 12 from the line. Jermaine Young can't stop. Oh, that's goaltending. Can't stop him in there.
That's the goaltender. There's no doubt about that one. That thing was on its way down.
Well, they say Tangashaka will try and block everything, and here's an example. Trying to help, but very late. Tangashaka, oh man, he walked again.
Yeah, that definitely wasn't walking. They didn't call that one. That was an NBA move.
Well, looking to get some scoring out of that guy. UB's got to find its offense from somewhere with Young on the bench with 4 fouls. Well, Martino held in check.
They're both teams are picking it up a little bit. A lot more movement on offense.
37-31 Niagara. Pulling it back out with 12 on the shot clock. Jeremiah Johnson resets the offense to work against the man-to-man. Gets a screen from Young. Ran in body contact. Loose ball. Jump ball. What do we got? Jump ball. 2 seconds on the shot clock. And the ball goes to UB.
Now they're a little bit out of control.
The Bulls hanging around.
Niagara's back into a zone now. Thing that helped them out in the first half.
Martino. Well off the mark. And a foul underneath. That's going to go against Nate Bernowski. That'll be his first. 16th foul against Niagara. 22nd timeout. We'll stay right here with 14-12 to play. Niagara up 6. But both teams are going to be going to the line very often in the remainder of this game and very soon for 1-and-1. Niagara's already at the line for 1-and-1. UB on the next foul will be going to the line. It's not. UB's doing a much better job there.
Right. If this game's going to go down to foul shots, UB's going to have the advantage. Niagara cannot let them get close enough where foul shots make a big difference. And right now, this is where it stands. You know, they're hanging in there. They're only 6 down. 6 down with the ball.
Niagara's 5 of 11 from the line. UB is 12 out of 12. Give you a little perspective to that. Scott McMillan on the floor with Matt Clemens. Another whistle away from the ball and another one on Bernowski. We got a lot of frustrated players out on the floor right now, Bill.
Well, they're playing hard, and this game means an awful lot to both teams. The UB that's really makes them dominant in Western New York, and Niagara, this is what we said in the beginning, this is a revenge game. So there's a lot of frustration. Jackham certainly has talked this up to his team.
Martino hits the front end. It's a very physical game, too, which has added to the frustration level, I think.
Well, UB plays that way. That's how they play. And, you know, when you play physical with them, you're playing right into their hands.
Calvin Murphy into the game for Niagara at the point. As Jeff O'Connor in the backcourt with him, Bernowski, Young, and Watson up front. That's Watson with the ball, right by Tangashaka. Shot partially blocked, but Tangashaka commits his second foul.
Nobody on the UB team can stop Chris Watson when he gets the ball in the paint. And the problem in the first half was they were forcing him out of the lane area into the, out of the purple area into the floor area. If he gets the ball into the paint area, he's very, very tough to stop. And so far the second half, he's been able to do that. Got to give Chris Watson a lot of credit. There's a guy who couldn't hit the broadside of a barn from the foul line freshman and sophomore years, and look what he's done now. Now he gets there, and he's a very good foul shooter.
Had a tough game against Long Island where he lost a little confidence and missed some free throws, brought his average down under 70%, but he was much higher than that going into that game. Armstrong wants the crowd on its feet and cheering. Niagara leads by 6, looking for a stop with his zone here. 13:40 to play. Open look for Clemens. He makes his first three-pointer of the year after an 0 for 15 start.
You can't give people like that open shots. And that was a wide open shot. He split that zone. That's a big momentum shift for the UB Bulls. Niagara has to answer right here.
Three-point game. They go to Watson. Watson just has one-on-one, and he draws a whistle.
Nobody on that team can stay with Chris Watson. He's going to get fouls. And once again, he got the ball into the paint area. And once he's in there, nobody on UB has the agility to stop him.
Alcock commits the foul, and it's his third. Three in a row for Chris Watson.
Well, every time UB draws close, somebody from Niagara steps up and hits the basket. So far, it's been Chris Watson here in the second half.
Some UB fans here trying to taunt Chris, but he pushes Niagara's lead up to 5.
Now, you're not going to be able to get into Chris Watson's head. He's a tough competitor.
UB trying to post up now with Johnson. Johnson trying to work on Young, trying to power his way. Shot no good, rejected. Bernowski picks it up for Niagara, gets it in the hands of Murphy.
Out of control.
Falls down.
Completely out of control, Kelvin Murphy.
Martino walks. Now we got a 3 from Clementi. It's 2 in a row. After going 0 for 15, he drains 2 and cuts the Niagara lead to 2 points. 41-39. And the UB fans louder than the Niagara fans here at the Gallagher Center.
Well, they got some momentum now. 2 big three-pointers in a row.
Watson trying to go one-on-one. Has to pick up the ball. 12 on the shot clock. UB and man-to-man.
Niagara's a little out of sync offensively right now.
5 on the shot clock. O'Connor.
That'll do it. That's one that's an answer.
O'Connor continues to play well against the University of Buffalo. Clemens is feeling it now. Nicholas lost the handle, and we got a foul call.
Foul on Watson.
That'll be his third. Nate Bernowski motioning to the bench that he needs a break. That'll get Beamer into the ball game, and Jobody will come in for Niagara as well, replacing Watson.
Bernowski's done a very good job for Jack tonight. Plays very hard, gets all the loose balls.
Alcock at the line. 8 of 11 on the year.
Playing up to the crowd. He had a few words for the crowd after he hit that foul shot.
First miss by UB from the free throw line. 15 out of 16. Murphy tried to lead Jobody, and they turn it over.
Very good pass by Kelvin Murphy, but maybe a wrong person.
Timeout on the floor, 11:38 to play. UB will have it when we come back, down by 4. haven't been exactly on fire here at the Taps Gallagher Center tonight, but UB has matched in the second half already its first half scoring output, doubling that. 20 points here in the first 8.5 minutes.
Well, it was just a matter of time till they woke up. They're too good a team not to score some points.
44-40 Niagara, 11:30 to go. Niagara switches back to man-to-man. Jobody gets a hand on that pass. Clemens will pick it up in the backcourt and start again. 15 on the shot clock. Martino around the screen. Shot was short. Rebounded by Jermaine Young. Niagara with the big lineup again with Young and Jobady. With Beamer. They go in. Young. Turnaround. Won't roll down. Jobady knocks it out of bounds.
Jermaine Young had a good look at the basket. The ball just didn't fall in for him.
Niagara got what it wanted there and got a good shot.
Yeah, he did. He got a good shot. The ball just didn't bounce in for him, and then Kevin Jobady knocked the ball out of bounds.
Ball bounded down the stairs and almost outside. We have to wait for it to come back. Last thing we need is a cold ball. Shooters are cold enough.
They're picking it up in the second half.
Clemens is starting to get a real eye for the basket. Makes a couple threes and then misses two running shots from the field.
Foul's on Martino.
That'll be his second. And of course that starts a march to the free throw line.
Yeah, early in the game, 10:48 left, and we've got 1-on-1 both teams.
Two shots one way, 10 team fouls against UB.
This isn't something you really want to see this early in the game. It's nice to get to the foul line, but if you're not real proficient foul shooters, it can turn the momentum right back to UB.
Kornowski got all the rest he's going to get. It's time to give Jeff O'Connor one. Armstrong won't want to keep him on the bench too long. He's been the main offensive
Well, he's
weapon.
got to give him a little rest because he's going to be needed down the stretch. This game is not going to be a runaway for either team.
45-40 Niagara, 10:45 to play. Again, it's been played at UB's pace. Niagara has not been able to get a transition game going. Look at Clemens. Forced another shot. He's trying to pick up what UB lacks with Sean Young on the bench with 4 fouls and has been unable to deliver. Kornowski got a step on his man. Good help defense. Young pops out from the perimeter, and that's a brick.
Yeah, that was not a good shot for Jermaine Young. It was out of his range, and he had to alter a shot because Tagashaka came out at him.
Martino guarded by Bernowski. Just pops a three right in his face.
Yeah, and he's talking to Bernowski, too. That's one thing about Martino. He likes to talk, and he can back it up.
2-point game, and give a lot of credit to UB. Now, away from the ball, we've got a foul. Tagashaka picked up his third. Jeremiah Johnson back in for Niagara. Bill, if you're Tim Cohen, you're frustrated, but you're down by 2 points. Rashawn Young's been on the bench most of the half with 4 fouls. He hasn't given you much offensively at all. Martino having an average game, and yet you're still in it.
That's the scary thing for Jack Armstrong, is they're still in it, and they haven't got off yet. UB hasn't gotten any one of the big scorers off, so it's tough. That's why you don't want to really see going to the line as much, because it stops momentum when you stop making foul shots. Luckily, Niagara's been able to hit them so far this half.
Kevin Jobady had career highs of 18 points and 22 rebounds the first meeting this year, and he's not exactly lighting it up tonight either. 47-44 Niagara. Martino gives off to McMillan, and Niagara stays man-to-man. Aklos backing in, turnaround over Young, no good. Jobady rebounds, outlet to Johnson. UB has 3 players back. Bernowski's open on the wing, cross court to Beamer. Now Jobady in the high post. Can't get Young inside yet. Now they pull it back out. On the shot clock. Johnson, big size mismatch there. Can't get the shot to go. Jobody with a follow, lays it in. Goaltending would have been the call. As Alcott touched the ball while it was in the netting, but it's still
tried to back it up. But Ron Foxcroft was right there to make sure that they counted that 2 points. And it was a big 2 points. Every basket's big, though, right now for Niagara and UB.
Clemens with a double screen, a three-pointer, no good. Young can't save it. UB's ball. Robert Harris back in, and Rashawn Young will come back in for UB with 8:34 to play and 4 fouls. Watson will come in. He has 3 fouls for Niagara, who replaces Jermaine Young. Beamer got a hand on the ball, creates a turnover. Bernowski dives on the floor, knocked it to Beamer.
Bernowski's been all over the floor tonight. That was just an excellent defensive play.
Bernowski doing the little things tonight after a really subpar performance against Long Island, away from the ball. I think they're going to whistle Robert Harris there.
Harris just came in the game and he picked up another foul.
That's 3 on him. Jeff O'Connor will come in for Niagara, replacing Bernowski, giving him a break. Watson at the line for 2 shots. They're all 2 shots now when Niagara goes to the line. Niagara 10 of 13 from the line this half, so they've picked it up considerably. Beamer almost said a little too much there after committing a foul.
Well, you know, Brent Beamer's a tough competitor. He works so hard and means so much to him, but he still, every once in a while, commits a dumb foul, and that was one right there. He was out of the play. Harris was nowhere near, or Rashawn Young was nowhere near the play, yet Beamer gave him a little chuck and knocked him over.
With Young still at the line. O'Connor rebounds. Niagara by 6 with the ball. 8 minutes exactly to play at the tone. Beep.
There it is. Niagara's running their motion offense.
Johnson gathers in a loose ball coming around the screen there. Almost had an NU turnover. Beamer open for a 3, top of the key. Won't go.
Right there, right in the lane.
Jeremiah Johnson doing some good work going inside. The little guy created some havoc, and now Niagara will get the ball.
He's played very, very well tonight. He's controlled this team well and worked hard, both defensively and offensively.
Tops in the MAC at 7 assists a game. Hasn't had that many tonight. Had 4 turnovers in the first half, and he settled down here in half number 2. Jobody looking to go one-on-one. Too strong there. Beamer tips it to Watson. Watson back up strong. Niagara by 8. Young guarded by Beamer. Gets a double team from Jobody. Now Jobady is going to pick up his 4th foul. Kevin just leaving his feet there, and that's going to draw the whistle on him.
Well, they had a double team on Rashawn Young, and they didn't close it off, Beamer and Jobady. They let him split him, and he went in between them, and there wasn't anything else Jobady could do.
That brings Jermaine Young back into the game. There it is again. You see Jobady's got to hold his position there.
Got to hold his position. You can't let him push through.
Rashawn Young to shoot 2. If you get the feeling that most of the scoring is coming from the free throw line this half, you're exactly correct. Loose ball, and Young gets it back.
don't want to let up here is a three-point shot. You don't want him to get off.
Martino drives instead. Shot altered by Watson. And a foul on Jeremiah Johnson. That'll be his third.
Parade to the foul line. Does Philadelphia Cable pay overtime when you have to work so it's more than your 2 hours?
UB has just 7 field goals in this half. Everything else coming from the free throw line out of their 25 points.
Well, they're getting to the line a lot, and they're good free throw shooters.
6:55 to play, and Niagara is led by 10 on a couple of occasions, but has not been able to stretch it any farther. UB, despite Rashawn Young not being involved in the offense, despite sitting out most of the second half with 4 fouls, has been able to find a way to hang around, and that is a concern to this Niagara bench. They saw how they got burned on a late three-pointer. They saw how it happened to St. Bonaventure, and they don't want to see a repeat of it here tonight. If you're keeping track of your pledge to the American Cancer Society and the Coaches versus Cancer, so far, Niagara University has cashed in on 39 three-point shots.
That's a great thing to be involved with, the Coaches versus Cancer. It's a much worthy organization, and I think more people should really try to get involved. Your money goes to a good cause, and it's a lot of fun.
Jim Saddlin, former coach at St. Bonaventure, heading up that program in this New York State region. And each of the local coaches participating, including Tim Culhane at UB, Jack Armstrong at Niagara.
Also the women's side. The women's side is contributing
and Bill
to it.
Agrone.
Yeah, our team is, and we've hit 43, so we're contributing money.
Nathan Johnson shooting 2. Team fouls over the magic number of 10 for both sides. UB really cooling off from the free throw line. Made 3 of the last 7 after making the first 12 in the game. Make it 3 of 8. Watson again out a lot farther than he wants to be. Draws a double team, finds the open man. Now they swing it around. Beamer picks up his dribble, finds Johnson. His shot off the glass and in.
Nice play by Jeremiah Johnson. Also was a nice assist by Brent Beamer.
O'Connor pushes his way through a screen. Top of the key, McMillan, a 3.
Well, Brent Beamer helped out on, tried to help out on Clemens, and his man got open. And can't let open people shoot the threes.
9-point lead, cut to 6. 5:53 to play. In its own way, the game has gotten entertaining despite all the fouls, just because it's so close. And everybody's working so hard.
Yeah, they're working very, very hard. It's a very hard-fought game by both squads.
5 on the shot clock as Jeremiah Johnson pulls up for 3. Off the mark. Rebounded by Clemens. Jeremiah Johnson has drawn Martino in this set man-to-man. Jermaine Young steps around, takes a shotgun, creates a turnover. UP tough man-to-man. A lot of collisions in the paint. Beamer tries to create for himself. He'll go to the line and shoot 3.
They only gave him a 2.
Only gave him 2.
Yeah, that looked like a 3-point shot, but they said his foot was on the line. I think Jack ought to argue that one.
Well, no argument there from Jack. Clemens, just his first foul. How did he go unscathed all this
I don't know. I don't know. Well, he's been guarding Brent Beamer, and Brent really hasn't looked to the basket very much.
Brent, 5 of 6 from the line now on the year. Niagara with 4:51 to play. Bernowski comes in for Beamer. If you're wondering, Niagara's lowest scoring output this year was 68 points in a win over Canisius. Sean Young over Bernowski, gives up. Pass, no good. Rebounded by Bernowski. Johnson travel.
Double dribble.
Saw Jeff O'Connor, thought he was going to skip him a pass for a three, and then saw the passing lane close and just walked with the ball.
Clemens did a good job. He got into the passing lane and made Jeremiah Johnson pick up his dribble.
Niagara goes back to a zone now. Young, a three. Wide open there. Cuts the lead to 5.
What happens when you let people split the zone, and that time the two front people for Niagara let Clemens inside the zone.
Well, it's like a football game when you try and cut through the lane and the screens right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of pushing, a lot of shoving. Not dirty stuff, just a lot of physical activity.
Niagara's half-court offense really laboring. This is a team that likes to go more in transition. Jeremiah Johnson forced something there. Jermaine Young had it blocked by Alcott.
Nice steal by Jeremiah Johnson.
Bernowski back to Johnson. Johnson! Gravel.
Tough call. Jeremiah Johnson most likely should have taken that jump shot from the corner, but he thought he could drive the lane.
3:34 to play. Niagara by 5. Clemens working on O'Connor. Back out. Oh, wide open inside. Wheeler. Oh, he forced it up there. Despite a tough foul by Bernowski, and Robert Harris, almost got that to go.
It was a good play by Bernowski. He didn't let him get that shot off. He grabbed right a hold of his wrist and pulled down on it. He hits these two, and they're right back in the game.
Here it is again. Watch the hard foul, and almost a miracle.
Wide open. Yeah, he just grabbed his arm and pulled him right down.
Scott McMillan comes in. Sean Young goes out for just a quick moment. Bernard Wheeler in the game, and Clemens going out.
Now Wheeler's going to turn up the defense a little bit here. They're going to need to get a couple turnovers on Niagara.
Harris only a 50% free throw shooter, but he makes a big one there. And this one will get UB back within one possession. Shaka rebounds. It steps out of bounds.
Big possession right here for Niagara. If they can get a score, that's going to put them up at least by 6 points, and that'll be a big, big basket.
Jobity will be set to come back in for Niagara. The next opportunity, despite 4 fouls, can't wait any longer. 3 minutes to play.
Got a mismatch. Got Martino on Chris Watson. Nice switch back.
Eight on the shot clock. They clear it out for Johnson. Kicks it out to Bernowski. 3!
Big basket. Now we got a 7-point lead for the Purple Eagles with 2 minutes and 40 seconds left in the game.
20-second timeout called by Tim Cohen. And 4 new players coming into the game for UB. Jobity in for Niagara. Rasan Young will get back into the game, along with Robert Harris. For Cohen's troops, down by 7, 2:41 to play. Here's another look. And Niagara creating a 3-off penetration.
Perfect penetration. And Bernowski spotted up outside, and he knocked home the big shot. That's exactly what you wanted him to do. Jeremiah Johnson did a real nice job of penetrating the middle.
Who says Jack Armstrong can't be working hard?
Oh, You kidding me? Nobody works harder than Jack does.
Son Young able to get rid of the ball. Outclass.
Kevin Jobity just fouled out of the game. Clemens is making offensive, defensive substitutions. Now, excuse me, Tim Cohane is making offensive, defensive substitutions.
For Kevin Jobity, it is his first DQ of the year. And Armstrong wants to talk to Mike Lonsky a little bit before he makes his change.
Well, you know, Jack's made a good point. He said he changed pivot feet. He did. He did change his pivot feet. He did travel. But they didn't call it, and Kevin Jobity ended up picking up a foul.
Going to use this as a timeout all the time he can. Now he'll send his 5 on the floor. It'll be Young, Watson, Bernowski, O'Connor, and Jeremiah Johnson at the point. Well, I'm sure it was UB's strategy to go right at Kevin Jobity, and the strange thing was he committed all 5 fouls in the second half.
Yeah, he did, you know, and they decided to go inside. That was their second half strategy.
Alcott makes the first free throw. Niagara's led all the way in this game. UB has never led, but they have never been out of it. And it's now 59-55 with 2.5 minutes to play.
Now they hang around, and it's a very tough team. Big possession for Niagara. They don't want to turn the ball over. They need to at least get a decent shot.
Watson comes over, one-on-one with Tangashaka. Not giving him the basket. Tangashaka has 4.
Once again, Chris Watson inside. There's no match for the UB Bulls. You cannot. They don't have anybody to stop him once he gets the ball in the paint.
Talk about situational substitution. UP's going 4 at a time, offensively and defensively.
If you look what they have in there now, they have 4 3-point shooters in the game. 4 guys that can put the ball up, and they're going offensive, defense. This is his offensive squad. They're small, but they shoot the ball.
Chris Watson doing an excellent job making his free throws here in the second half.
Chris Watson is a gamer.
Niagara 13 of 16 from the line this half, despite that miss. That's a travel on Rashawn Young. He tried to have an acting job there, but Jermaine Young was just planted like a tree.
He ran into him and had just what it was. He ran into a tree and fell backwards.
And now we get the defensive squad in there.
The only one he leaves in the game offensively is Martino, because he does it all.
UB pressing a little bit now. Niagara breaks the pressure, but Armstrong wants a patient possession here with under 2 minutes to play and the team up by 6.
The clock is the enemy right now for UB. They need to get the ball with some time on the clock, and Niagara needs to run it off.
Niagara will be content to get a trip to the free throw line out of this. 8 on the shot clock. Johnson, 4 seconds, forces a shot off the rim. Rebounded out long by McMillan.
Now this is tough because you got your defensive team in the game. The only real score is they call the timeout. Call the timeout so he can get his offensive players in the game.
There you see it, 4 new players. 11, 3, 42, and 10. That's Rashawn Young, Nathan Johnson, Alcott.
Well, he wants to get those offensive shooters in the game. He needs a couple 3-point shooters.
Well, if you want to hear more commentary about this particular ball game and others, tune into the Jack Armstrong Show on Adelphia Cable and Lockport Community Television. And the days and times listed on here screen. Coming up for Niagara next, renewed rivalry DePaul coming to the Marine Midland Arena.
Yeah, it'll be a real big game Saturday, and DePaul is a powerhouse team.
2-point shot. No good. Rebounded by Clemens.
Now the defense comes in. I think Tim Cohen's going to run out of timeouts, though. He's going to have enough timeouts to get the offensive, defensive players in. Niagara needs a good possession right here. They don't want to turn the ball over. They just want to get a decent shot at the basket with a 4-point lead.
109. Here's the replay. Clemens doing a good job getting the rebound and going back up with. Oh, that's a travel again.
Yeah, it was. He changed pivot feet. But, you know, I guess they're not watching the feet. They're just watching the arms.
For all the whistles in this ball game, and all the fouls, we've already had Kevin Jobley foul out. We have Rashawn Young playing most of the second half with 4. Bernard Wheeler with 4. Tangashaka with 4. A lot of people in foul trouble, but we haven't caught all the traps. And if you want to keep up to date about Niagara University sports, including the women's basketball team coached by Bill Agronis, Blaze McDonald and a hockey team, and much, much more, there's your Niagara University sports hotline, updated daily, 286-8380. Interesting to see what the commentary is about this game. 109 to play now, leading 60-56.
I don't think this was atypical of a game, UB and Niagara type of game. It's going to be a very physical game. It's going to be a lot of emotion, which obviously they showed tonight. So, you know, I'm not really surprised at this. I'm surprised UB has a shot a little better.
Calvin Murphy Jr. back in the ball game for Niagara. Has not seen a lot of action here in the second half. He struggled a bit tonight.
He's got all the guards in the game right now, and Chris Watson, because they're going to try to control the ball. So he's got actually 4 guards in the game.
Jeremiah Johnson will go to the line, fouled by Martino. You have to pick your spots on who you put out there on the floor to commit the foul. Also, you put Calvin in there because he is a good free throw shooter.
Right, right. You're putting good free throw shooters in the game. You got Bernotsky and Jeremiah Johnson that can shoot free throws. You got Jeff O'Connor, who's a very good free throw shooter. So you want to make sure you got guys that can do that. He just put Jermaine Young back in the game to play a little defense now. So Jack's doing a little bit of that offensive defensive substitution also.
Again, they're 2 shot fouls in case you joined us late. Both teams well over the bonus. And Niagara, which had a poor first half at the free throw line, was 14 of 17 here in the second half. Cost them the first game among these 2 teams. Between the 2 teams. Not costing them here tonight. They lead by 6. 54 seconds to play.
You don't want to let up a 3-point shot here.
Young over Bernotsky. No good. Watson rebound. And he's fouled.
He was up in the air on that rebound, wasn't he?
Matt Clemens commits the foul. Oh, Watson goes to the line for Niagara, but of course the clock is stopped with 42 seconds left. Big free throws here for Chris. Push that lead over 6, then you're more than 2 possessions away.
Right, yeah, 2 3-point shots won't do it for you.
Missed 2, we got a lane violation, so Watson will get another chance on the second.
The break for Chris Watson. Big foul shot here because it does put you more than 2 possessions. Got to hit one of these.
Bill, at post-game, will be talking with either Jeremiah Johnson or Jeff O'Connor, I'm sure.
Well, we haven't quite decided yet. They both had outstanding games.
Jeremiah Johnson seeing most of the duty at point guard for Niagara and kept his team settled in what has been a difficult and intense game. Niagara by 7 with 40 seconds to play. And UB going to the threes. Martino rolls it out. Jeremiah Johnson with the rebound, and he's immediately fouled.
Let's say this. Jeremiah Johnson makes these foul shots. He's our player of the game.
Honorable mention to Jeff O'Connor, who had some important threes in this game.
He sure did. He played very hard. Played with a lot of poise tonight, I thought.
Calvin Murphy Jr. back in for Niagara out of this timeout. Nate Bernowski, a much improved performance tonight than his last game.
He would have to, in my mind, get the Defensive Player of the Game award if we had one, because he was all over the floor, got a lot of tough rebounds, did a good job, did a real good job on Rashawn Young. Didn't let him get off to you know, a big point total. So I think he had a great game.
Well, UB has pulled out a few miracles this year, but the bag may be empty here at the Gallagher Center tonight.
I think so. I don't think they can pull it out here.
Two opportunities for Johnson to shoot the rock. They get a good look at it. It was an important game for Niagara. Confidence-wise, coming into a stretch where they would like to pick up some wins before they face the inevitable, or let's face it, the inevitable Kansas loss.
Yep. Oh, there's no doubt about it. I mean, they're playing DePaul, which is an excellent team, top 30, top 35 team in the country, and then they're going to go out and play Kansas. So they got a long road ahead of them.
Got Lehigh in there, which might be another win you want to chalk up. And hopefully this one against UP. They're up by 9 with 34 seconds to play. John Young drives the lane, and Watson picks up his 4th foul on a block.
You don't want that. You really don't want to see that, you know. He's going to take a shot. Let him take an out-of-control shot, but don't put him at the foul line because it stops the clock.
Also, a potential for a 3-point play. So he's only going to be shooting for 2 here, but that shot would have fallen. Potential for a 3-point play. Jones will come in for UB, and that's Tim Cohane looking for somebody who can commit a foul. His first action of the ball game, and he'll be the designated hack if Jeff O'Connor touches the ball. You don't want Rashawn Young to pick up his 5th. Matt Clemens picks up his 3rd. Stops the clock with 29 seconds left. Jeremiah Johnson going back to the line, trying to cement this one for Niagara.
Well, he makes these two, puts them up 10. This has been a lot closer than a 10-point ball game the whole night. Very hard fought game.
Johnson gives Niagara a 9-point lead. Niagara is led by 10 on a couple of occasions. The biggest lead of the ball game. UB wouldn't go away, though. Niagara able now to pull away a little bit at the end once again from the free throw line. 67-57 with 29 seconds to play. Son Young. Clemens an open 3, no good. And that could be it for Rashawn Young. Looks like he committed the foul on Jermaine Young there. And that's his 5th and disqualifying foul. 22 seconds left to play. We're going to take a quick timeout. Back with the conclusion of this ball game. We're going to keep it here. Okay, we'll keep it right here as Jermaine Young goes to the line. Shooting 2. Missed 2. Martino rushes up court. Kicks it back out. Clemens, a three-pointer. That's short. Watson rebounds. And he's fouled. Well, UP has not given up.
No, they never give up. They never give up. That's the mark of a UB team and a team coached very well by their coaching staff.
Jack Armstrong can empty his bench a little bit. Pat McNamara and Luke Dobert and Akbar Wahid coming to the ball game, replacing O'Connor. Bernowski and came out, Jermaine Young.
Chris is still in the game, shooting the foul shots.
Beamer will replace him in a moment. Watson comes out for Beamer, and it's an 11-point Purple Eagle lead. With 12 seconds to play, UP will drop back to 500. With this one, they'll go to 4-4, and Niagara will improve its record to 4-3. Murphy dribbles off the final seconds. 68-59, the final. We'll be back with more in just a moment. This is Purple Eagles basketball on Adelphia Cable.
I'll go get them. Welcome back to the Gallagher Center. I'm joined by player of the game, Jeremiah Johnson. Jeremiah, first of all, congratulations.
Thanks, appreciate it.
It was a tough game, physically a tough game.
It was real physical. Both teams came to play tonight. Everybody had to play hard. It was a must-win for us, a must-win for them, and fortunately we won this one.
I thought you did an excellent job of controlling the game, controlling the tempo of the game, and anytime you guys got down where you really needed a basket, you seemed to be able to penetrate and get the ball to the right people.
Right. I tried to do that. That's one of the things that I have to do on this team, and that's what I focused on down the stretch, to get our big men going, because I know that if we get it in, either get fouled, 2 points, or even a 3-point play.
And you did a real good job of controlling the tempo. Also, I thought the team as a whole did a great job on Rashawn Young and Mike Martino.
Yeah, that was our keys going into the game, to stop them. Last game they had a real good game against us. This game we had to contain them, pressure them, and we did a real good job. I think our defense was real key tonight.
Well, I want to wish you best of luck against DePaul, and have a very, very Merry Christmas.
Thanks a lot.
We'll see you.
Appreciate it.
And we'll be right back with the final stats after this break on Adelphia Cable.
The holiday season is traditionally a time for families. Hi, I'm Joe Pelletier, asking you to join me in watching the special family message from a young serviceman away from home.
Hi, my name is Jerry.
St. Peter's in a tight game with Manhattan prevailed 51-48, so the
Foster and Alex McCallum. And when the bell rings, your referee in charge of the action, Randy Phillips. And now, 10 rounds of boxing. This is in the junior middleweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing white, trimmed with black, official weight 155 and 1.